Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Ganesh here. Today in this video we're going to be finally doing this beginner guide that I've been trying to do for a whole year now, but it's about time. The second anniversary is almost here and this is a great time for anyone to start. So if you're watching this video and you haven't played this game before, I recommend you to give this game a shot, especially that the anniversary events are starting in a week from now. There has been a lot of changes for new players. You start now with a lot of goodies. You get a full kit version of Naruto, including his ultimate Rasengan for free. You get this beginner login bonus that basically gives you 1,500 Shin Whites as you start, which allows you to summon on any banner 3 times or even 3 different banners, however much you like it. You get a lot of tickets as well. You get a lot of ability points, and this is just for you as a beginner. You get also other stuff from the other login bonuses from the second anniversary events themselves. So yeah, this is gonna be basically a guide video, a first day guide video of telling you how to start strong, how to get a great account at the end of the day, and yeah, basically be ready for the anniversary events so you can easily tackle the missions and get into the highest rankings even if you are still a new player. So let's get started. Alright, so the first step here is to re-roll. Now, after you finish the first part of the tutorial versus the Ninetales, you download the extra data of 900 megabytes, then you do that exact summon, the beginner summon, where you basically get the full kit for Naruto, including his ultimate Rasengan. You get some more cards for Sasuke, and then you learn how to, of course, equip these cards on your characters. Then you get to the point where you have to select your name. Here is where you want to stop, because we're going to learn now how to reroll. First of all, you have to understand what rerolling is. Rerolling is the method of you basically creating multiple accounts, or creating accounts then deleting these accounts because you don't really get what you want at the beginning of the game. This is your only chance to cheat the gacha system in any gacha game. This is by the way, in any gacha game you have to know how to reroll. So what you're going to do here is normally you download the game, you summon the first summon on the feature character you're going for. In our case, it's gonna be AMS Sasuke. We're gonna be explaining to you why later, why we're taking AMS Sasuke. But for now, we're taking AMS Sasuke. We're going to be trying to get his full kit, all of his attacks within only one multi at the beginning. And in order to get that, it's really hard because you're gonna have to try your luck multiple times with different accounts. You might get lucky in the first try and stop there, but for most of the times you're gonna have to create multiple accounts to do that. So the usual way is you deleting the game and starting over again by downloading the whole data, and summon again. If you don't get whatever you want, you delete and download again. So in order to overcome this problem of you having to download the data every single time, there are ways to actually do that without having to waste a lot of data, or if your internet is not speedy enough, you will waste a lot of time. So to save all this time and all this effort, you basically have to learn how to re-roll by taking one file out of the game and replacing it whenever you want to re-roll again without having to download the rest of the data. That's all you have to do. So it's really hard for some devices like iOS devices, for the Android devices, because you need to root your device or to jailbreak your iOS device. So if you want my advice, it's better to reroll on your PC or your laptop, and after that you basically have to just transfer your account to your phone if you're gonna play, of course, on your phone. So all of these methods are going to be in the description below. You can check all these methods for all the devices I've been talking about in the description below. It's not going to be featured in this video. If needed, I might just have to do a guide video of how to reroll on every single device, but that's just going to be only if needed. Alright, so the next step, which is a really important step by the way, is to know which character you should be summoning for, or which banner you should be summoning for. Currently we have KLM Naruto's summon, we also have EMS Sasuke's summon. We have one featuring both of them with their old kits. We have, of course, the beginner summon for new players. We probably will have more summons coming up for either birthdays or celebrations of any kind, and you will have a lot of summons to choose from, and you don't know really which ones are the best. By the way, if you didn't know yet, you don't really summon for characters here. You get all the characters for free as soon as you start the game, but you have to summon for their kits, for their attacks, and for their cards, and that's what we're going for here. Basically, we're going for the full kit of EMS Sasuke because it's one of the most powerful kits so far. It has two effects that are amazing in the game right now, which are damage over time effect and the defense debuff. These are the two most powerful effects in the game, and having them in one kit is just amazing. His ultimate is so powerful as well, even though it has a huge cooldown of 2 minutes. It's still going to be very useful for the next SAM, and I would advise anyone to try to get that one because it's going to be powerful as soon as you inflict damage with effect on the enemy, and then use the ultimate, you will do double the damage. So that's one of the reasons why we're taking EMS Sasuke over Kill Naruto here, because he doesn't have that amazing effects. So yeah, for new players, EMS Sasuke is the best option right now with his rekit. And then, of course, after you get his full kit with the start, you basically have to just save your Shin Whites for the next best summon to choose to summon on. But what happens if you start in a few days and EMS Sasuke's banner is no longer there? Because that's going to be the case. It's going to expire in a few days, and then we're going to start with the second anniversary events. We're going to have different banners, different characters, and it's going to be hard to actually tell which ones to summon for, especially if you don't have any experience in the game already. So which one summon should you go for at that point? This video would be outdated, right? But then I would advise you, of course, to subscribe to the channel and check my latest videos, because most of the time I will be summoning for the newest character and doing a full kit review, full kit analysis of that new kit or the new character, and then you will get your answer whether to summon for that character or not. In that case, you will be able to tell which one is good and which one is bad. And there are other YouTubers, of course, you can subscribe to, like Lord Lug, you have Manny, you have Oxivo, you have Ryza, you have let me see, KHK40 YouTube, I think that's his name. There are a lot of other YouTubers with different opinions that you can actually follow and watch their videos, and then you can tell. Like, don't follow one specific YouTuber, because most of the time, you know, not most of the time, sometimes you end up with YouTubers saying a wrong opinion or getting to a wrong conclusion. I do that sometimes, by the way, so don't trust me all the time when I tell you to summon or not. So there's also a better option here, is to actually go for the Discord channel. The Discord channel link is going to be in the description below. You should definitely go there and ask before you actually summon on anything, because you will find a lot of experienced players in there. Alright, next up we have to get into the Ninja Way missions. So after you finally get that one perfect roll with the full kit of that one character you have been rerolling for I don't know how long, you might have gotten lucky and got the full kit in just few rerolls. Sometimes you might end up having to reroll for like 50 times. But yeah, finally, if you finally get the full kit and you're ready to go, you have to get into the Ninja Way missions, because that's how you unlock the game. So the Ninja Way missions have been just added like a couple of months ago into the game, and by unlocking the first 6 chapters, you unlock most of the modes in the game. That includes the special missions, the random missions after the first chapter. You also unlock the surprise attack mission after the second chapter, I believe, and then after the 6th chapter you unlock the attack missions. I believe you have to unlock up to the 15th chapter to get all the fortresses possible for defense, but that doesn't really matter on the first day. It doesn't really matter for the first week, in my opinion. So yeah, you just need to get to the 6th chapter and finish it to be able to play attack mission and team battle specifically, because that's going to be the key to actually finish upgrading all the constructions in your village easily and fast. So yeah, as soon as you start, you will have some Rio and some chakra. You can use them to start upgrading your base and some constructions in your village. Then you get into the Ninja Way mission. You finish the first chapter. You will unlock the special missions and the random missions. I would advise you to keep going and finish the first 3 chapters before you start grinding for that one specific character you have been rerolling for. In our case, that was EMS Sasuke, and EMS Sasuke is a random mission exclusive character. Now, in our case as well, we have these new missions added from the pre-second anniversary, and will be there for the next month, where you actually get the fragments really easily for any character in the game, plus their full kit, which is insane, to be honest. But I guess most of the time when you start the game, you're not gonna have these missions available, so you're gonna have to just regularly grind for the fragments of that character. Again, you're gonna have to either play the random mission to get the points and then redeem the points for the fragments of these characters, or to play the special missions regularly and get the regular fragments for the characters and eventually awaken them to be stronger. But then you're just gonna have to keep going up until the 6th chapter, and from there you will unlock the attack mission, and then in that case you're gonna start playing the team battle if it's available. It's only available for 10 days every month, and I believe it's gonna be available for the next few days. So if you start within the next few days, make sure to get to the 6th chapter and unlock team battle and start playing team attack mission. So as you go through the Ninja Way missions, make sure to always go back to your village when you finish one chapter or one mission and check whether your base or your other constructions have finished upgrading. If so, make sure to upgrade them to the next level. Most of the time you will have enough Rio and Chakra from either the missions that you are doing in Ninja Way missions or from the achievements. So make sure to also visit the achievements whenever you upgrade a new construction, because you will get Rio and Chakra back from there. And yeah, you just want to make sure that you keep upgrading your constructions to get the highest capacity for Rio and Chakra. So when we get into team battle or surprise attack mission in the next steps, you will have a place for these Rio and Chakra to be stored, and then you can use them to either upgrade these constructions to a higher level up to the max level, which is 20 and 15 for some constructions, or to use these Rio and Chakra for things like upgrading your cards, leveling them up, and evolving them and everything. So yeah, make sure that your constructions are always up to date and upgraded whenever. Alright, so finally, after you finish chapter number 6 and you unlock team battle, which by the way not always online, sometimes the event is not there, it's only there for 10 days per month, so the team battle might not be there. This is only in case the team battle is there and featured. You will know about that from the news, by the way. If not, most of the time there's going to be the SAM, the surprise attack mission, available, and we're going to talk about that in the next step. But for now, the team battle is more important, and if you start during the team battle, you're in luck because you will get a crazy amount of Rio and Chakra, and you will be able to upgrade your constructions to the highest levels possible, and you enhance and evolve your cards easily as well without having a problem because of the crazy amount of Rio and Chakra you will get from the rare fortresses in this mode. So what you want to do here is to start your own game. You just go to team battle and click create a new game, or whatever the name is. I can't really see it right now on my screen, but yeah, you create your own game. Never join anyone at the beginning, because most of the time when you join somebody, that player is going to be having more scrolls. He will go against harder fortresses than you can survive through, and most of the time you will just die within one blow. So make sure to always open your own game so you can go against difficulty of your own level, and then let only one person join you, and that person has to have at least 2,000 scrolls. So that character or that player will have 2,000 scrolls or more. That means that player have been playing the game for at least, I don't know, a week or more, and he will be strong enough to actually clear your fortress that you're gonna go against on his own. He doesn't really need you there. So that's gonna be useful, because in case you die, for example, you will have someone that backs you up and finishes the game and successfully without dying as well. So yeah, in that case, you want to make sure to have only one player there. Do not let more than one player in, because if you have more players in the team, the resources you get at the end will be divided over the amount of players there. So make sure to have only one player in there to support you, and in that case you will have your points or your resources, your scrolls, your Rio, your Chakra at the end will be divided only over 2 players and not 4 or 3 players, which would be giving you less resources at the end. So again, make sure to go with only one good player. That player is going to carry you. If you feel like you're about to die, make sure to get away from the fight until your teammate finishes that enemy off, and stay there. Try not to die, because if you die, you get less stars at the end. And when you get less stars at the end, you get less Rio and Chakra and resources in general. So try to not die, and if you die, it's alright. As long as your teammate finishes the game successfully, you will not have anything to worry about. Now, one very important reason why we're starting with team battle or attack mission in general And I would always advise you to start with the team battle whenever you can, because you need as many scores as possible to rank up in the higher leagues. And if you check the league rewards here on the bottom right of the list, you will find all the leagues that are in the game right now. And as you start as an academy student, you get more scrolls. You get into the Jinin, you get into Special Jonen, then into Jonen, then into Shonen, and then eventually into Gokunen. So these leagues basically are the main source of shinobites for free-to-play players. So as you can see, the top 50 in every league, which by the way is sometimes consisted of 4 different leagues, get around, it depends actually which league you're in. Sometimes you get 80 shinobites, sometimes you get 160 shinobites, and in the Goku League you get 180, which is by the way a lot, and that happens every week on Wednesday on the reset. So make sure to start grinding scrolls whenever you can, because when you end up in these leagues, when starting in Special Jonin, you start getting shinobites every week, and again, this is the main source of shinobites for free-to-play players. Alright, so in case that team battle is not featured in the game, most likely the surprise attack mission is in the game. And if you start with the surprise attack mission, it's even better because you get a lot more goodies than you get in the team battle. I mean, when it comes to Rayo and Chakra, team battle is better in that case, but you also get a lot of Chakra in surprise attack mission. It's not as flexible as in the team battle, because if you get, for example, 5 million chakra and you don't have enough capacity for that 5 million, you're not going to be able to accept them from your gifts, and you're going to be stuck with them in your gift box until you get to that capacity to actually be able to accept them. So yeah. However, surprise attack mission basically gives you a lot of other goodies like tickets, so you can basically get a lot of tickets, around 40 tickets every surprise attack mission. And with these tickets, you summon on the ticket summon, you get a lot of cards. That includes, of course, ultimates. Some people get really lucky and get like 5 or 6 ultimates within these 40 tickets. Some people just never get any ultimates at all. So it's all about luck, of course. You can also get free ultimates for some specific characters that are featured for that SAM. Most of the time, or for the last couple of surprise attack missions, we got more ultimates for the characters that were featured in the random mission, the last random mission before the surprise attack mission. But I think it's gonna change starting from the next surprise attack mission, and we're gonna get different characters in that case. You can also get evolution materials, which is something you don't really get in team battle. So that is something really great you can get that helps you start in the game, because you can then evolve your cards to the highest rarity and then synthesize them or enhance them for even higher level and so on. You also get stack cards. You can also get frogs to enhance the levels of your jutsu and your ultimate jutsu as well if you end up in higher ranks. Now, every surprise attack mission is different from the other. We always have a different guide for every surprise attack mission, because there is literally no general guide for every surprise attack mission, as the bosses change from either 1 tail to the 4 tails to the 9 tails, and in next SAM it's going to be the first time we get the 10 tails. So the guide is different every time. There's also the change of the natures, so it's sometimes annihilation and impact natures featured. Sometimes it's just lunge and manipulate. So that's also one thing that changes. Also, the special shinobi featured in every SAM or surprise attack mission are different. In this case, is like in the next surprise attack mission is going to be the case for KLM Naruto and Sasuke, most likely another character featured along with the SAM release itself. So these characters change, and the other non-special shinobi also change, and for that we always have a different guide. Therefore, I'm not really going to make a guide on the SAM here, because, well, I'm going to have to make another guide anyway for the next SAM, so you can just watch it in case the SAM starts on the 21st of this month, or if you start later, there's going to be another SAM, of course, the following. There's one general point that people need to know about, by the way. The most recent characters or the most recent attacks added to a character in a game always are featured as a special shinobi for the SAM. So in our case, KLM Naruto and Sasuke are the most recent ones, and they're going to be featured for the next SAM. Whoever is featured right now in the current banner, whenever you start, by the way, is going to be featured for the next SAM. If not, the SAM is on. That means the character feature right now is also a SAM special shinobi. So in this case, you want to make sure you have one of these characters with the damage return effect. In our case, we took ML Sasuke for that really specific purpose. And that means no matter how weak you are, the damage return effect is a fixed damage you deal to the highest difficulty boss in the game. And as long as you survive until the timer goes down to 0, that means you will get the points at the end, and that will help you a lot, get you into the top rankings, and get you, of course, the extra rewards you get because you are in the top rankings. That involves, of course, the new ultimates, for example, for new characters or for old characters with new ultimates, whatever. It's going to be the case. But yeah, this is the key for new players, because no matter how strong you get yourself, in the first few days you will not be strong enough to actually compete against the players that have been playing for a month or a year. So your only chance there is to play as much as possible. And by the way, unlike the team battle, you're probably going to need to join other players. This is different from team battle. You're not going to open your own game, except if you know how to survive during the whole time in the highest difficulty boss, because most of the time you're just going to die no matter how much HP you have in just one hit. So you probably want to join other players in the surprise attack mission. Go to the highest difficulty tab and just choose the one of the rooms and try to survive there. Use your attacks with the damage over time effect and try to get the damage over time effect on the enemy. Get some damage done there, and make sure that one of the characters or players in the game is surviving until the end. So you get your points, and of course, if the SAM boss is defeated, you get extra points. So it's always good to try and snipe the highest rooms in the list. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to finally talk about the tips and tricks that you actually need to know if you start in the game today. And we're starting off with the most important one, and this is something that you need to do after you finally finish re-rolling and get that account that you actually were trying to get with the full kit. And then what you want to do here is to close the game, and when you start the game, don't click on anything, and on the bottom left you go to the support here and link your data. So linking your data is very important, so you would not lose your account. And in that case, you can either link it to Facebook or the Game Center on iOS, and I believe there is an equivalent to Game Center on Android. So what you want to do here is to link your account data to the Facebook. You click on Facebook and you go and do all the procedures like logging into the Facebook and then accepting the linkage. And then when you finish, you will find the word linked here. If you do the same procedures again, if you click on Facebook again, you do the same things again, you will actually unlink the data. So make sure if you do it, to do it only once, and to make sure that you have the word linked here under Facebook or Game Center, whatever that you're actually using here. So in case that you actually are still afraid to lose your account, make sure to take a screenshot here of the title screen. And this is very important because you need this part of the screen which has your user ID, because if you do lose your account for some reason, like you lose your Facebook or whatever, you can always ask Bandai to give you your account again once by taking your user ID. So again, you save your picture and you keep it there in a safe place in case you actually again lose that account somehow. And then you go to contact us, you click on contact us. Of course, if you have the ID, you don't really have that screen where your ID is there. And then you go to inquiries and you scroll down, you click on the support form, and then you fill the form here and tell Bandai here in the question that you lost your account, and you give them your ID that you actually took a screenshot of. So this is very important in case you don't lose your account. There's also one more thing here. The link data only works on the same iOS. So basically you're going to be able to use your Facebook only on the same OS. So if you have, for example, iOS device, iPhone for example, and you switch to your iPad, you can use the link data. But if you are using iPhone for example, and you want to switch to an Android device, you cannot use your link data. You're gonna have to use the data transfer. So in that case, you're gonna have to go to your account inside and go to the settings, and in the settings you're gonna have to click on the data transfer. So you're gonna see it right now. Basically you go into the data transfer and you issue a data transfer password. So in this case, we're going to go to settings and go to other data transfer, and you click on this button right here, issue data transfer. You're gonna have to go to the other iOS you were talking about. I mean, if you were playing on iPhone and you want to switch to Android, you're gonna have to use this user ID and the password you get. And when you do so, you will be able to switch from one OS to another OS, so from iPhone to Android or from Android to iOS. But keep in mind that if you do so, you will lose all of your shibonites in here. So if you again switch between Android to iOS or from iOS to Android, you will 100% lose your shibonites in here. So again, you issue the data transfer code if you only want to switch from one OS to the other. For the link data, you can use it between the same OS devices. Now let's talk about the guilds for a second here, because your guild mates can be very useful, helping you clear team battles, missions in general, or spread stack missions. And the fact that now guilds get to have levels and some new shop called Alliance Medal Shop. So every time you log into your guild, you get some kind of medals, amount of medals, and then you can redeem them for stuff like summon tickets, ability points, and you know, evolution materials. That of course depends on the level of your guild, and the more active your guild is, the higher level it will be. So you want to make sure that you actually join an active guild, and you can easily do that by either going to other and guild search, and you search for any guild. You can write the name if you know a specific name, or you just click search and go for all the recommended guilds that you can actually search for. Now there is an even better way to get better communication with your guild mates, which is to find your guild on the Discord server. Again, it's the same Discord server that I'll be leaving the link for in the description below. You just have to go there and ask to join a guild. They will refer you to the channel where you search for guilds or people that are basically trying to find people to join their own guilds. You can always open your own guild as well and invite other peoples there on that server. So there you go. That's why the guilds are really important currently for new players. Not so much for old players, because you know the rewards are not really that great. So I really hope that the levels can go higher than level 3. I believe level 3 is the maximum right now. So hopefully when the levels go higher, they would add better stuff in the shop. For the next step, it's something involving your shibonites. Now shibonites are the premium currency of this game, which you summon with, which you can actually use for other stuff. We're going to be talking about that in a second. However, I would always recommend you to not buy the actual regular packages and wait for bargains or offers that give you something extra over the shibonites you might buy. So in this case, for example, you get top tier stat cards for either specific characters or every character in general. Sometimes you get tools, sometimes you get extra shibonites. So in that case, I would always recommend you waiting for such bargains or offers, and I believe in the second anniversary there are going to be a lot of these, so it's better to always save your money for when you have an offer that basically is worth your money. Now the shibonites are really hard to get and pretty expensive as well, so make sure to not waste them on anything like the special shop. This is a huge rip-off, to be honest. 40 shibonites for 10 fragments is just stupid and crazy. So they need to do something about this. It has been always there since the beginning of the game, and I don't think anyone buys that, but sometimes I guess new players get baited with this. So never waste your shibonites on the special shop. Same thing for the daily shop. It used to be for using Rio, but now it's for shibonites. The currency here is shibonites, so never use it on here either. If you want evolution materials, you should definitely just go and farm them yourself from the evolution materials special missions. Now there's also one more thing that you should never waste your shibonites on, which is a surprise deck mission. Never I mean, for a regular player that is not super rich like some people do in the top 10, that actually unseal using the shibonites. Never unseal using shibonites in the surprise deck mission. So that's one thing that you need to never do with the shibonites. One more thing here is to never use your shibonites on the voltage summon, because the voltage summon, even though it does have a lot of ultimates, a lot of jutsu, pretty much everything in the game, it still has the worst rates for ultimate, which is 2%. So compared to other banners that either guarantee you something on if you go up to step 2, 3, or 4 or 5 and gives you an ultimate guaranteed at the end, or the pickup banner which has 4% chance to get an ultimate. 3% of that is included for the featured ultimates. I would definitely never ever waste Shin Whites on the Voltage Summon. It's a huge rev up as well. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a huge rev up if you really don't care about your Shin Whites that much and you just want to get something random, but most of the time you're gonna get shafted anyway, so it's better to just be safe and save your Shin Whites. Do not waste them here. You can always use the ticket summons, or you can wait for the free summon that you get currently daily or every 5 days. Alright, for the next step we have the fame level, and since we already talked about the Shin Whites, you also need to know that every time you buy Shin Whites you get fame points, and I believe for every 3 Shin Whites you get 1 fame point. You also get fame points as you log in every day. I believe you get 2 per day, and when you level up your fame level you actually get some perks in the game, like for example your installations and traps will deal more attacks or more damage to the enemies that enter your fortress. You get some expansion time discounted, some discounts in the shop as well, and you can buy terrain sets for cheaper price and so on. The most important ones, however, are fame level 4 and fame level 10. Fame level 10 is really hard to get, but it gives you like a huge discount on the guild shop. Not really important, but the LB consumption, the life point consumption, gets discounted by 50%. So instead of you using 10 or 9 life points to actually play one game, you only need to use 5 or 4, which is amazing, but it's really hard to get. However, level 4 is very important as well because you get the insta achieve. This is something you need to unlock because it makes your life way easier. So I believe for fame level 4 you need to just buy the biggest pack, like I think twice or 3 times maximum. I think twice, I believe. Or you just have to log in every day for a total of 7 months, which is a lot, but a lot of free-to-play players already got the fame level 4 as they just kept logging in every day for 7 or 8 months. So yeah, basically what Insta Achieve does is it lets you play games without actually going into the game. So you just click on the Insta Achieve, you click on how many times you actually want the mission to be done. For example, if you want it to be done once, you do it and you get the rewards for actually finishing the mission once. You can also do it 3 times, and you do it 10 times, you get up to 10 times. You can play it up to 10 times per once, per click, and of course you can keep doing that as you go. So it doesn't really depend on how much life points you have or whatever, but it depends on whether you have the fame level 4 unlocked or not. So this is a really important tip, and I would advise everyone to get the fame level 4 because it will make your life way easier. Alright, for the next step we have the synthesizing of the jutsu. This is a really important tip that the game doesn't tell you about, and a lot of new players waste a lot of XP because they don't know about this trick. First of all, we're gonna take one jutsu here that we want to actually upgrade or increase the level of, and as you can see it's only level 1. We're gonna try to level it up here, and of course you can use the frogs that you get for free from team battle, or you can get them from surprise attack mission, from achievements, from login rewards. You get them from almost everywhere in the game, and you can use them on any jutsu, by the way. However, we're talking here about the dupes for the jutsu itself. So we're gonna have to find another card that has exactly the same jutsu, and sometimes you just get these from summoning on one specific banner and getting the same card twice, and that is called a dupe. So in this case we have this card as a dupe. It has also the same jutsu, and it's only 1 star. So if we use it here, as you can see, we only get 90 XP to level up the jutsu. But in case that we actually level up the jutsu or the card that we're going to use as a dupe and enhance it again, and again evolve it to the max rarity possible. By the way, you can always evolve every card in the game twice. So from 1 star it goes up to 3 stars. If it's a base of 5 stars, it goes up to 6 stars because there's no 7 stars in the game yet. If you have one starting at 2 stars, you will go up to 4 stars and so on. So yeah, I believe we have already leveled up and maxed the rarity of the card to the max possible, which is 3 stars here, as you can see on the top right. And we go back to synthesizing, and you go back to the same jutsu. We use this time the dupe as a 3-star instead of the 1-star, and as you can see, you get more XP from the same card, but after you finally get it to the max rarity. Now you don't have to level up the card level at max rarity, you just want it to be there at the max amount of stars possible, and it's not possible to evolve it anymore. You don't have to level up the card itself anyway. Then when you use it, of course, you get more XP than when you use the same card at the original rarity. So that's one very important tab you can use on the jutsu or the ultimates, and it will always give you more XP if you level up the rarity to the max before you use that card as a dupe. For the next step, we're going to be talking about how to sell ninja cards to get ability points. I was going to make a different video for the ability points, but it's a good opportunity for you to know now how to get ability points. Now, for selling the cards, it's always better if you just sell cards that you're not going to use, or you don't have, or you already have the jutsu maxed out, or stat cards that basically you're not planning to use, especially the stat cards that starts at 3 stars base. And then you basically use the same trick that we used with the synthesizing of the ultimates and jutsus here as well. So for example, we have this card that is at 4-star and possible to be evolved up to 6 stars. If we sell the card right now, we'll only get 1000 ability points if we do so. But if we evolve the card like we did with the jutsu that we did in the last tip, and then enhance it again, as we're gonna do it here now, and then evolve it again to the max rarity possible, which is 6 stars, you actually get more ability points at the end when you try to sell it. So let's go down and go all the way. Alright, and when you find the card there and you try to sell it, you can see you can actually get 30,000 ability points, which is way more than the 1,000 we're gonna get for it at 4 stars. So that's what you want to do, to always max rarity your cards before either synthesizing them or selling them. Alright, for the next step we have evolution materials, which is it has a really important question. A lot of people have been asking me on my videos. Almost every video I always have one new player asking me that very important question about the evolution material missions. And yeah, just the obvious things here is that you need evolution materials to evolve your cards. We don't have any cards here to evolve anyway. But what I'm saying here is that you get one different mission every day during the week. On Monday, for example, you get the red ones. You get on Tuesdays the yellow ones. On Wednesdays, you get the blues. For Thursdays, the greens. And of course, for Fridays, you get the purples. And on the weekends, you get all of them in one mission. So you will always find these missions changing every day. Now, the question that is very important here is that everyone says that their missions are broken, and they say it's already complete, even though they reset every day, right? But they actually do not reset every day. There are only just 7 different missions during the week. And it feels like they are resetting every day, but they are actually different missions. And when you get to the next week, and for example, you have already cleared this mission this week, and you got the rewards, the next week, this mission will still be cleared, and the objectives have already been cleared. You already got the Shin Whites, you already got the Fortress Medals, you already got everything here. You cannot get it again because these will not reset. Okay? They will not reset, and you will not be able to get them again. So this is how the game works. It would be actually broken to be able to get all these Shin Whites every week, or every time you reset. That's like, I don't know, 100 Shin Whites per day, which is crazy. It's probably not going to happen ever. So yeah. Just know for the fact that you can only finish the 7 missions of the week once for the first time, and you get the rewards only once. And after that, the next week, these will be completed, and you will not be able to get these rewards again. This is really normal in the game, and your missions are not broken or anything. Alright, for the next step, it's going to be evolving the Rio and the chakra you have here. Sometimes you end up having too many of them, and you don't know what to use them on. So obviously the most important thing you have to do with them is to level up your constructions and your base until you get them to max level, of course. But in case you have your constructions either maxed out or are still upgrading and they're on the cooldown of the upgrades, you don't have any other things to do, right, with them. So you just have to go to your missions, sorry, not your missions, to your shinobi, to enhance every ninja card you have, every single one of them. Use your chakra on them and enhance all these cards, and evolve any possible card that you can do, then enhance them again and use all these chakra on them. So this is how you waste your chakra, because, well, when you enhance and evolve the cards, you can either use them as tag cards or you can sell them for ability points. As for the Rio, there are two possible ways to use them or to waste them in case you don't have constructions to actually use them on. So the obvious thing is to go to your terrain sets and start buying every single terrain set possible, because when you buy a terrain set, you get all the traps within the terrain set, and then you can basically use the traps to actually make your own fortress. Now you can watch, by the way, my how to build your own fortress guide videos. I'll be leaving the links in the description below. But for now, I just wanted to tell you that they changed the system, and now you have to finish chapter 15 in the Ninja Way missions to actually be able to get the terrain sets at the end, like especially the rank 7 terrain sets. So yeah, make sure to finish up to chapter 15, and yeah, buy these terrain sets when you have enough Rio to waste on these terrain sets. The next way to actually waste your Rio here is through the Rio summon. You just have to go to summon and scroll all the way down to the last banner here, which is the Rio summon. You just have to use all your Rio that you still don't need. Now with the Rio summon, you get evolution materials, you get ability points, and you get fragments for characters as well. So yeah, just keep using them until you finish all of your Rio. It's very important and very useful for you, especially if you're a new player, because every evolution material or every fragment or every ability point will count towards helping you into actually getting stronger in the game. Alright, for the last part of this video, we're going to be talking about the types and the natures of the game. Now, we have 5 different types of the characters. There are the green ones, which are the assist characters. We have the yellow ones, which are the defenders. The blue ones are the skills. The purples are the balanced characters, basically. And then we have one more thing here, which is the red ones. And these are the attackers. So you cannot really tell anymore which type is the best, but each one of the types has strengths and has weaknesses. And at some point the green ones were really bad in the game, but now recently all of the top tier characters are green. So again, we cannot really tell which type is the best and which type is the worst. We're just gonna have to talk about each character on their own when it comes to their kit and their abilities and so on. So again, we have 5 different colors, and each one has different multiplier of attack stats, defense stats, HP stats, CP stats. I will be leaving a guide on the screen right now. You can actually see it and see which one is better at what. But yeah, there is also the natures. You need to know about the natures, because when we talk about the guides of the surprise attack mission, we always talk about the natures. And you need to know, I'm not going to talk about the natures in detail because it's a huge discussion, and I might just have to make a different video about that. But you just need to know how to identify the nature of every attack or every jutsu or every ultimate jutsu. So how to do that is basically you just go into the card with the attack, and you look at the bottom left here. So beside the name of the attack, the Great Roar, for example, has the yellow color, and the yellow here means impact nature. So there are I believe 6 natures in the game. The yellow one is the impact nature, the red one is the lunge nature, the purple one is the annihilation nature, the brownish ones, or the whatever the color this color is, looks brown for me, or kind of oranges, is manipulate nature. And then you have the normal nature, which is the gray one. The normal natures basically are either regular attacks that you do with your hands and legs and everything, or attacks that basically don't deal any damage, just regular skills. And there are the green ones, which are release nature. Hopefully I didn't forget any of them. So again, let's go over them. The purple ones are annihilation, the red ones are lunge, the yellow ones are impact, the green ones are release, the brownish ones are manipulate, and the gray or white ones are normal. Now you just need to know or how to identify them on every attack. And then when we talk about them in other guides, you would be able to know which cards we're talking about. You can basically look at your cards and your attacks that you have in your account and tell whether this is manipulate or release or impact or whatever. Alright guys, thank you all for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was really helpful for you guys. And in case you have any other questions, make sure to leave them either in the comment section below, or you can ask them in the Discord server, which I will be leaving a link in the description below, along with the other links that I mentioned in the video. Now, if you have any other suggestions for anything that needs to be talked about, or if you want a specific guide in detail, make sure to leave that also in the comment section below. And if you guys again enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and share this video with every new player that you know of, or any friend that wants to get into the game. It will help them a lot. And yeah, thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.